What is good, everyone? This is your host, Deanna Radulescu with Label Free. To live your best life, you must live label free. And I'm back with another incredible guest. Actually, he's a returning guest. He is the author of B2B Blueprint to Predictable Sales, the founder of Mastery of B2B Sales, and also the founder of the Transformation Adventure. Please welcome Chaz Horn. Chaz, welcome to the show.
Deanna, it's great to be back. It's been a couple of years, and
Yeah.
I enjoyed our conversation just heading into this interview.
You've got a
Good
lot
to see
going
you.
on. So I remember the book. I remember I'm in sales. So we really kind of dived into sales when we connected the last time. And now you've got something new. So but let's refresh the audience's memory if they are just joining us and they never saw that episode or listened. So let's kind of give them a little bit of the history of your background because you are a very impressive and seasoned salesperson.
Yeah, it didn't start out that way though.
It never
I
does.
was, yeah, we all start somewhere, and I
Yes.
started at the bottom, and I was the worst salesperson, literally in the company. Out of 119 sales reps, I was dead last, 119th, and it was day after day, week after week, month after month, zero zip nada sales.
Oh,
And my boss, who became my mentor one day, he sensed I was down. He invited me over to his house one night. And I'll never forget, we're in Northern California, which is cold, by the way. Mark Twain said, the coldest winter ever spent was a summer I spent in San Francisco.
okay.
And
Yeah.
so this was north of San Francisco. After dinner, we sat down in his den, fire in the fireplace, and as he sat there in his prominent chair, mentor to pupil, he said, Chaz, are you sick and tired of not making any money? I said, yes. And he said three words that changed my life. You can be. I really didn't have anybody up to that point in my life who really, from a mentor, speaking life into me. And he followed that by the top salesperson in the company. So it was like the dynamic duel. You can be the top salesperson. And I was like,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
And then he said, but don't you hate those big butts with one T, by the way? He said, but you got to follow the system. You got to follow the process because it's proven it works.
Yeah.
So the next day, I followed the system process. 45 days later, I continued to follow it. I was not number one, but I was number three.
Oh,
And throughout my sales career, spanning several decades, I learned the importance of system, process, being proven, and having the right mindset. Those are three things you need to be successful. And I've served hundreds of businesses, helping them and their sales team with a predictable process so they can grow their business.
I love that. And sales is like almost kind of like a taboo type of career, right? So it's like I think that's what people think, right? The label that they put on it, like either you got it or you don't. But there is a method to being a good salesperson.
Yes, and it has to be with a process and whatnot. But I look at it at this because I talk with a lot of people and they're like, sales, I don't want to sound salesy. Just do this. Go with the intention to serve, not sell, and you will attract and not repel. And I remember somebody I was talking to, he goes, Chaz, that sounds great, but I need to make some sales. He totally missed the point. When you go with the intention to serve, you're going to ask the hard questions. You're going to do the things that you wouldn't normally do because that's serving them.
Yeah.
If you don't go with hard questions to uncover the needs and some wants, you're not going to know what their problem is, how it's preventing them from reaching a goal or objective, and where they want to be in a year or so.
Yeah.
And if you don't know the problem, the pain, how it's preventing them from going to this place and why they want to get there, you're not going to be able to help them get there with a system and process that customize around where they are from so they can reach and abolish those obstacles. There's a quote that I use. I don't know who it's from, maybe Myron Golden. Sales is not about getting people to buy the thing you're trying to
Right.
sell them.
Yeah.
It's about helping them burst through those obstacles and helping them achieve their goals. That's it.
Yeah. No, I love that because I mean the way I approach things in my businesses is that I want to help people. I want to shed a light on them. I want to share their message. I want to promote them. And I'm not looking at it like I'm serving myself. I want to serve them. And so I love that because I think that makes a complete difference. Like I tell my team that works for
Huge.
me with my magazine, I'm like, we're all about building relationships. We're not there to like push the hard sell on them. We're there to build the relationships and to understand how we can support them and how we can, like you said, find their need and their wants.
Yeah, that's where it all starts. Because if you don't understand, yes, it's, I think it's Maya Angelou said, people are never going to remember what you said, but they will always remember how you made them feel. And if you go and just talk at people and don't ask them questions, sales is really about knowing and understanding. And if you don't ask questions and follow up questions and drill deep, like I say, the 3X formula, asking a question and then three questions to get clarity on what they just said,
Yeah,
then you're never going to be able to truly serve them because you're never going to really know what their problem is and how it's impacting them personally.
yeah. And it's like rinse, wash, and repeat, right? Across any industry, it's the same thing. Do you think so?
Yep. I think, yeah, it's the common, there's some slight changes and tweaks with companies and in industries that you customize, but the foundation is always the same.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree. I mean, you go in there like not expecting the sale and all like hungry for the money. It's more because I that repels me, right? If
Yeah,
someone's
people
coming
can
at you
smell
like,
that.
what? What's that?
I said they can smell it coming.
Right?
Desperation, money. It's
Yeah.
like they're looking at me as an object.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
that
mean,
definitely repels.
yeah, that doesn't work for me. So like if you have to think about it when it comes to sales, like you have and especially in today's world when we're getting hit at so hard with the AI stuff,
Mm.
constantly like the Siri's listening to us and it pops up in our feed if we're on social media. It's just like it's coming at us in many different directions. So to have that authenticity when it comes to just growing a business with somebody, I think is super important.
It's a great differentiator. It truly is because with AI, people I really believe are going to trend to genuine relationships. And yeah, you can use AI, and I use AI in a lot of different ways. A guy sent me an AI thing. He goes, triple your meetings with
Yeah.
AI videos. I go, this AI video has no emotion, has nothing. It's like, it's pathetic. I'm just being straight
Yeah.
with you. And so I doubt that you're scheduling all these meetings with DMs through these videos that are created by AI. It's not
Yeah.
going to happen.
Yeah.
They're cold.
Yeah.
People don't want to watch a video from someone they have just connected with and don't know you.
Yeah. There's someone that I actually respect very much, and she's using a lot that Sora or Soro, whatever it's called, and creating a lot of really cool videos, but it doesn't make me want to engage. You know what I mean? And
Exactly.
I really respect this person and I love what she does and I think she's awesome. But if I was to wanting to use her product or learn more about a product, those videos aren't doing it for me.
No, I mean and we're at the beginning stages. I mean, we're going to have probably the biggest disruption in my lifetime in the marketplace because of AI. And there's some excitement. It's like, wow, that's cool. Look at you, how everything you can do.
Yeah.
But it doesn't make me think I want to work with this person. It just makes me think, wow, that's cool. It's
Yes,
novel at this
exactly.
point.
Yeah, I totally agree. I totally agree. Well, let's talk about your book really quick. So, B2B Blueprint of Predictable Sales. So, tell us about how that book came about. It's been around for a little while now. I know when we connected, I think you had just released it when we initially connected. I could be wrong. I don't remember. It's been several years and
I
lots of
know
conversations later.
you have other guests besides myself. So I wrote that book because I kept coming across the same thing, from Ken Upton through my decades of being in sales. And then I started working with small companies, typically 1 to 15 million in annual sales, and they have 1 to 4 salespeople. They didn't have a proven sales process. They didn't have a proven sales methodology. Sales
Okay.
process is step 1, 2, 3. Methodology is how you execute in each one of those steps. So they
Yeah.
have to be together. So they didn't have one or the other, and usually they didn't have either because the founder sold, and a salesperson cannot sell like a founder. And so they just
Yeah.
expected, I don't want to sell anymore. I'm going to hire salespeople. And
Yeah.
wrong answer. So that was happening. And then they lacked leadership. on how to lead their salespeople. They were having meetings all the time. They were wasting salespeople's time. I mean, it's like 45 minutes. You need to never go longer than that. And sometimes 20 minutes is fine, but it doesn't always have to be a meeting. If there's no reason for a meeting, don't meet. So I put
Right.
this together so they know how to lead, not just expectations, but standards. Expectations are what you do, standards are how you do that.
Right.
Most companies focus on activity, but they don't have a standard. And so they're just churning out the numbers, churning out the numbers. And so I put that together so they can have a predictable process with clarity and then bring in strategy. I use tabs, TTABS, which is tactic, technique, attitude. And then B is the KPI or the behavior, the activities. And then strategy is what's usually missing.
Okay.
That's speaking to that main need, that main want. And this is what marketing is all about in such a way that the prospect knows exactly that you know the problem and that you are the authority to solve it. So when you bring in the tactic, that's what you do, the technique, that's how you execute on the tactic. And then the attitude, that's again intention to serve, not sell.
Yeah.
You will attract and not repel. And then strategy, like Sun Tzu said in his book, Art of War, tactics without strategy is the noise before defeat. But he also said strategy without tactics is the slowest route to victory. You need both, but you also have to have the right attitude and
Yeah.
mindset and perspective and the technique. And that has to do with tone, body language, and the empathy that you communicate with. As you mentioned, you want a genuine connection, you want to
Yes.
develop relationships. It's essential, that's foundational to have a selling system that's scalable.
Yeah. No, I love that. And so the book is for founders or is it for just regular salespeople?
I mean, I've had a lot of salespeople say this is really good, but typically it's for founders
Yeah.
because it's with the systems and processes that they need to put in place. And I give lots. I actually have videos because it's a digital book, they can click on and I go deeper into video content on what I just discussed. A lot of founders have downloaded the book and then come to me afterwards, but I give them pretty much everything that they need,
Okay.
but they don't have the skill set in how to implement that. So I come alongside and I'm their guide so they can be the hero of their company and their salespeople as well.
I love it.
And by
Yeah.
the way, I bring marketing and sales together. Imagine that. They're two sides of one coin.
Yes.
So many companies separate them, and there's like sales doesn't like marketing, marketing doesn't like sales. Yeah, you can't close anything. It's like, well, your marketing stinks. No, let's learn from each other because we see things from a different perspective, and that's a healthy thing. It's going to
Yeah.
help us all be better.
Yeah. I mean, I think marketing is very much like sales, just a different approach, right?
Yeah, it's you're speaking to that need and want, so they see you as an authority.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the strategy component.
I love it. Um, so let's get into your new thing here. You went through a journey called the Transformation Adventure. You help leaders go deeper, moving from stress to peace, from uncertainty to clarity, and from operating in infinite human strength to learning how to live and lead from God's infinite wisdom and power in both life and business. Love it.
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah, so it's
unpack
it's
that.
it's 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 our finite strength to God's infinite.
Yeah.
So I
Oh,
came across this because I've had faith and put my faith in Jesus and God but if you would have talked to me, it's like, oh wow, Chaz is walking the walk and talking the talk. But there was a void that I didn't even realize I had. I lacked awareness. So 2020, I got extremely sick. I was in bedridden for 6 months. Yes, I got out of bed to go to the bathroom, but it was like running. It
wow.
was like a huge accomplishment to get there. So I lived out of my false identity, and this is so important with accomplishment, getting life from other people because people are like, hey, Chaz, you helped us here, you helped us here, you helped us here. And that's where I was getting life from. So as I was sick in bed, at first I'm like, oh man, how am I going to survive? Am I going to be homeless? My business is going to be gone. Then
Yeah.
around month 3 or so, I remember laying in bed and I just felt like I had this cough that gave me an umbilical hernia. And it was just,
Oh, wow.
it was misery. I would sleep 14 hours a day. And if
Wow.
it wasn't for Wim Hof breathing and ice baths, I would do Wim Hof to get out of bed. and then an ice bath to be able to work 4 hours a day. And then I would collapse for 14 hours. Then I would
Holy
repeat the
cow.
process.
It's
So
awful.
I was laying in, go ahead.
I said, that's awful.
Yeah, it was. Let me tell you. Whew, that cough lasted for like 18 months, by the way. Anyway, so I was laying in bed, and all of a sudden, these hot tears started rolling down my cheek, not from pain, not from misery, but from joy. And at that moment, it was God. I really believe it's like, Chaz, you can see, you can hear, you can taste, you can feel. You have all five senses. So I realized for all of my life, Deanna, I was looking, I have to do this. I don't have this. Oh, I have to
Yeah.
do that. I don't have this. I have to brush my dog's teeth. This is how I went through life. I didn't realize, I wasn't aware of the self talk. And at that moment in time, I came up with a quote: joy does not come from getting what you want, it appears when you realize all that you have and get to do.
Yeah.
So I went from have to get to, transformational, and I started realizing everything that I have. Here I am sick in bed. It's like, man, I'm misery. I don't have it. I God had to take me there for me to realize I have five senses, and I've taken those for granted for how long?
Yeah.
It's so that, and having some serious conversations with God, I realized all my life I suppressed my emotions. And when you suppress your emotions, if you don't regulate your emotions, they will regulate you, and they'll come back much uglier later in life. Have you ever been a road raged on someone, or someone road raged on you?
Long time ago. I try to
Okay.
let that roll off of me now.
Well, if you react and you road rage, it's not because that person cut you off. That's just the trigger that's taking an emotion that you never processed in a healthy way. And so that you have that response. You react as opposed to respond. Like a doctor gives you medication
Yeah.
and you're sick, your body responds, that's good. But if your body reacts, that's not good. Same in life. If someone cuts you off or says something to you that hurts you, and
Yeah.
you react, even if you don't voice it, if you're inside trying to self-protect and self-promote,
Yeah.
that's a true sign that you're not self-aware and you're suppressing your emotions. And so I went to God. I'm like, okay, Lord, I need to understand and become self aware. What do I do? He said, check out David's Psalms. I was like, oh my goodness. As soon as he said that to me, and it wasn't, I don't hear an audible voice. I'm not saying you can't. I know some people that do from God. I just
Yeah.
don't. It was in my spirit. And so I realized David goes from Psalm 13. He says, God, why have you forgotten me? It's only 6 verses. 5 verses later, he's singing praises to God. So what happens is, what I created is the David framework I got from David. And there's 5 things to go through to process your emotions in a healthy way. And you'll create new neural pathways so you think differently. And I use the acronym David, DAVID. And so I remember, Deanna, as I was doing this consistently, I just became so self-aware of some of the limited beliefs, the things I was telling myself over and over and over again. And then I had someone really close to me. No one can hurt you like those that are closest to you,
Oh
you know?
yeah. Believe me, I know.
They said something really hurtful, and my normal reaction, even if I didn't say anything, was either to say something sharp back, hurtful back, or just something inside and stew over it for days and weeks and
Yeah.
months, and sad to say, sometimes years. My first thought was, they must be having a bad day. That was a new neural pathway from going through the David framework. And God, as it says, yeah, isn't it? It's so exciting.
Yeah.
It's Romans 12:2. It says, do not conform any longer to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind.
Yeah.
So that David framework helps you renew your mind so you can be sensitive to God's voice. I wasn't hearing God, but he was speaking to me consistently. He speaks to us not all the time, but
Yes.
consistently. So that made me aware so I could hear God's voice and get direction from his infinite wisdom instead of my finite strength. Because it was always about, what do I know? That's what I'm going to do. It's not like, what does God say? Do I want to operate on my finite strength and wisdom or Almighty God?
Yeah.
I mean, it's common sense, But
Yeah.
all of my life, up until the last couple of years, it was just like, I know this, I'll do this. Now I'm like,
Yes.
God, what do you want me to know about this? And I listen.
Yeah. That's
I'm like,
beautiful.
okay.
That's
Yeah, it's
beautiful.
I've had yeah, it's well, I could go on this forever and ever and ever. It's been truly transformational. That's why I started the adventure. And I did a beta test, and then I officially launched in September. And people that are go through it and apply it, their lives are being transformed. It's the thing I'm most passionate about as far as my career over sales and anything else, because I see, helping someone in sales, great, you get your
Yeah.
business and your life, and that's exciting. But seeing someone to deal with the inner turmoil that they don't even realize they have, and have the lightness in their feet and step, and have clarity, and they're no longer living and, oh man, have to, they live and get to. It's been awesome to be used by God in other people's lives that way.
I'm gonna like have tears of joy for you because what a great way to help elevate people in this world by
Mhm.
helping them grow in a way that truly changes us for the better.
Mm, yes.
You know,
It's
because
I'm with you, and
we're also reactionary, right? And in order to take that step back and teach someone to look at that and to like you said, rewire, remap, like your response to something that we internalize, which is it really is never really about us, and to like use God's love to create more love. You're loving others if you're not internalizing their response to you. It's an unconditional love instead of like judging and want to be reactionary towards them. You're actually showing them some unconditional love that we don't really see very much. We're also broken. And so it's very, very beautiful that you are teaching others. People have to want to be able to be taught that though.
yeah, and it all goes back to awareness, because just like me, I wasn't aware. And if like I was listening to this podcast and it was me 7 years ago, I'm not sure if I was like, oh man, I'm aware, but I wasn't.
Yeah.
The cool thing about this is I've realized I'm an emotional being, and it's okay to be emotional. God is emotional. We are created in his image. And I weep and have times of joy throughout my day and sadness. I get to feel life instead of suppress it. In my all my relationships with my son, my daughter, they both work for me.
Oh
My
wow.
extended family, my friends, my clients, they are so much deeper. I typically, with my conversation with my clients, I'm starting the conversation in prayer. And I'll ask them, it's like, are you going to be offended if I pray for our time alone? And I don't remember anyone saying no. And so now we bring God into the conversation, and I let them know how God, even if I'm working with them in sales, how he has transformed my life and how I think differently. And one of the cool things that came out of this, Deanna, is I discovered my unique identity.
Hmm.
Is it okay if I go down this rabbit trail real
Yeah.
quick?
Yeah. Go ahead. Absolutely.
So if I ask you or people out there listening to this, I say, who are you? People say, I'm a founder, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a dad. Nothing's wrong with that. Or if you have a faith, you put your faith in God, you say, I'm a Christian, I'm a child of God. Those are fine and those are great, but it's not customized specifically to, it's not unique to you. Like
Right.
the angel of the Lord came to or to Gideon. He was hiding in a hole from his enemies, and the angel of the Lord said, mighty warrior. Was he being a mighty warrior? No. God calls us how he created us and how he sees us. That was his identity. But Gideon wasn't living his identity, but after that he did, and he was able to defeat his enemies. You know, Simon went to Peter. Simon was a brash, egotistical fisherman. He went to Peter, who was a focused, a very bold apostle. Saul was a murderer who went to Paul, who delivered so many people um, from places that just of despair by bringing them to faith in Christ. he had a new identity. They all had new identities. So I was talking to God on Saturday, and I'm like, "Who is it that you say that I am?"
Hmm.
And I'll never forget it. It said, "You are a giver of life. You're to speak life into people and into businesses." Yeah, and I was just like, tears are rolling down my cheek.
Wow.
It just made so much sense. So now, if I'm operating out of my true identity, I'm speaking life into people and life into business. If I'm living out of my false identity, that's where I'm trying to get my life. You see the contrast?
Yeah.
It's I'm getting my life from people, which is empty.
Yes. Yep.
I'm giving
100%.
life and I'm getting my life from God. So it kind of flows this way.
Yeah.
So that has been, and that's something I help people do with the transformation adventure. I'm just there as a guide. God does the work. I'm there to guide them through the process.
I love it. Why do you call it an adventure?
Because it is. It's we go anytime you deal. I'll give you an example. One of the things I do is I interview my clients and I create a mini novel, cinematic, so they can smell the smells and hear the sounds and take them back as I interview them and I take them through their life. And I write this and I have them with some prayer prompts talk to God and say, God, where were you at this time in my life? Through usually through a difficulty. Because if we do not um, process the past with God's help, then we usually are shackled or imprisoned to the past and it's still present in our life. Think about Joseph. His brothers, talk about dysfunctional. His brothers sold him into slavery. Years later, he was the second in charge of Egypt. Joseph was, which is an amazing story in and of itself. His brothers were there trying to get food because there was a famine in his land. They realized, his brothers said, this is Joseph. And they're like, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
It's like, we are dead. And he said, what you meant for evil, God meant for good. It's okay. Don't be afraid. And so when I write this mini novel, I have them go through these prayer prompts. And this guy got back to me. His name is Herman. He's from Latin America, so it's spelled German. And he goes, Chaz, I printed it out. I was in the airport and I was reading through it, and I shouldn't have read it in the airport because I was tears. I was praising God, and I realized, man, what a cool life I have. I'm getting goosebumps right now just thinking about this, and realizing that God was in all these different places in my life that I didn't realize He was there before. And it just gave him a different perspective, and it just gave him a renewed strength and power. And I spoke life into him by
Yeah.
helping him see that and going through that process.
Oh my goodness, I love it. So now, how can people participate in the transformation adventure? What does that look like?
Yeah. Yeah, all they'd have to do is reach out to me and put transformation adventure on LinkedIn or my email. Is it okay to give my email address out
Yeah,
here?
so that was gonna be my next question. Where can people find you, support you,
Yeah,
and learn more of working with you?
probably the best thing, just email me, chazhorn@chazhorn.com. This first, last name, four letters at first, last name, four letters, chazhorn@chazhorn.com. And just put adventure, transformation in the subject line, and I'll know. Deanna, any of those things would be fine in the subject line. And I'd be happy to send you kind of an overview, and then I interview people. I'm not here to try to close you and sell you into something. It's having a discussion. I interview someone to make sure they're a fit, and
Okay.
I let them know what it's all about. And then if they want to take the step, great. And if not, that's okay.
Yeah. How long does the adventure take?
It's 9 weeks.
9 weeks. Okay, so not terrible. Not a terrible
No,
long.
it's that's if I think if I did the math, it's like 7 times 9 is what, 63? How
Yeah.
long does it take to create a habit? Not 21 days, it takes
Se
66 days. So
oh,
you
I was
just
gonna say
have to,
7 days.
you
I
just
thought it was
have to,
7 days. No?
it's 21. No,
Oh,
people say 21, but the science actually shows it's 66
oh, okay.
days.
I didn't know that. I just
Hey,
learned something new.
people out there, comment and tell me if I'm false. Okay,
Okay.
you can chat GPT search it. Okay.
Exactly.
um,
Exactly.
but the 63, yeah, we don't have to Google the things anymore. Um, it's 63 days. So you just have to continue for 3 more days to have that habit in place that's going to transform your entire uh, relationship, business, everything that you're involved with. It'll
Yourself.
just keep moving forward. Yeah, yourself. This is where it starts. If you
Yeah.
don't self-regulate, you're going to live in misery. And if you self protect and self promote, I guarantee it's probably because you're living out of your false identity.
I love it. Chaz, it's amazing. You guys, I'm gonna put the link in the show notes and also here on the screen if you're watching. If you're listening to this, go to the show notes, go click that link, go shoot him an email. If you're interested in learning a little bit more about the transformation adventure, I can guarantee you probably will not be disappointed if you reach out to him and just start the conversation. Chaz is the part of the show where I like to ask for last words of wisdom or advice. What would you like to leave with us today?
Listen to what you are saying to yourself when you have a feeling where you feel down or sad or something. Stop, and what is that message that you're saying to yourself? I guarantee it's something along the lines, I have to do this. I'm not going to be able to do this. I'm not enough for this. And so, if you, that's the first sign of awareness. And what you need to do with that is bring it before God and just ask him this question. You know, if you have a fear, we all have fears. I was talking to
Oh
another
yeah.
guy before bringing him in the transformation adventure. I go, what do you fear most? I don't have any fears. I said, well, okay, that's a problem. We're lacking awareness here. I first asked him, can I be direct with you? Because I
Yeah.
don't just, he goes, yes. I go, and so anyway, so listen, if you're feeling some sort of angst or anxiety or worry, stop and understand exactly what's causing that and then bring it before God and just ask him, what do you want me to know about this fear? What do you want to know about this worry? And just listen. And when you listen, don't go. And then all of a sudden, because we're such dopamine addicts, all of a sudden we're silent for 5 seconds. And all of a sudden we're on our phone. Oh, what did God? Oh, wait a second. So be very, choose intentionally to listen. It could be a picture. God talks to all of us uniquely and different because he's
Yeah.
created each and every one of us unique. And so listen. And it could be a sense in your spirit, could be an audible voice, it could be a picture, it could be something that you hear later, it could be something you read in scripture later. Just listen. And if you do this consistently, you can begin to hear God's voice and start getting a direction from him instead of trying to take things on your own strength. We were never created to carry these burdens in the first place.
Yeah, I love that. I had to write that down. What do you want me to know about this fear or this worry or this whatever feeling? Because, we're all work in process, right? And, we can live our days as best as
Yes.
possible, but we're not every day is going to be the best day, right? We're going to have bad days. And I think that when you're teaching somebody this transformation, it's like
Mm.
exercising, it's a muscle you're gonna have to work over and over and over again. That's why you say the 66
Big
days,
time.
right? And so like I'm gonna implement this because I have days like this launching this magazine. I've had a lot of days where I'm scared, worried, still there a little bit, but I love that. Like, what do you want me to know about this feeling right now? Because I think that's very powerful just to kind of sit back and sit in the emotion and ask God for guidance and, beautiful.
Yeah, it's yeah, if you have this, why do you have it? And take it for good. Don't ask God why questions because how can an infinite being explain something to a finite being? Yes,
Yeah.
but do we understand it? That's why.
Yeah.
What do you want me to know?
Yeah.
So yeah, it will be life changing if you actually practice this one little step on a regular basis.
I love it. Chaz, thank you. It was so great to reconnect with you. Thank you for sharing what
Most
you're doing
definitely.
now. I mean, what an amazing gift that you're giving people, and what an amazing gift God has given you to be able to do this
Mm,
for people. So, I mean, just incredible. So, thank you so much for being an incredible guest today. We really appreciate you, and yeah, can't wait to see
thank
how many
you.
more people's lives you're going to touch.
Thank you, Deanna. I appreciate being here and I received that wholeheartedly.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you.
You're welcome. You guys, this is your host, Deanna Radulescu with Label Free. To live your best life, you must live label free. As always, don't forget to subscribe, follow, rate, review, comment, share, all those good things. And I'll be back soon with more dynamic guests.